The Boys Season 4 has ended in diabolical fashion, as I'm sure you know if you're watching this video. But there's already news from the showrunner, Eric Kripke himself, about where the next season is headed in GenV Season 2, and the where and how it ties into the New World Order that kinda got set up in the last few moments of Season 4, with the declaration of martial law, and the soups now legally being employed by the government to help police it. But first, I want to take a short time to recap on Episode 8's important bits that are relevant to what has been mentioned about the next season so far. I'm not going to do a full discussion on this episode, so we'll leave out the Annie double part. The most important things to remember now is that Butcher sees Ryan could be a potential threat if he ever crashes out because he broke Mallory's neck, pushing her into a wall after he freaked out, while her and Butcher was trying to convince him to train to stop his father, Homelander. Bob Singer won the election during this, but Newman was outed as a soup, so the public knows that there's been a soup in the government, and they're already plotting to end Singer's life. Homelander tries to have every employee at Vought with dirt on the 7 eliminated, but Ashley steals some V from Homelander, injecting herself with it, and presumably escapes. Then we saw Butcher gave into his Kessler side, and his powers are revealed to be chest tentacles, which he uses to rip Newman in half in front of her daughter and the boys while they were trying to make a deal with her. After that, we learned that Sage had planned for this, and that she exposed Singer for planning to assassinate his own VP, so the government is now endorsing Homelander, and the new president declared martial law and stated that soups will be employed to help enforce it. We also see that basically all the boys have been captured. Frenchie and Kimiko, who also kind of got back together in this episode, are subdued by Sam and Kate from GenV. MM is subdued by Love Sausage, which I can't really show here for obvious reasons, and Huey and Starlight are stopped by Sydney, but Starlight finally gets her powers back to full potential all of a sudden and flies off. To round it all off, we see that Homelander learns his father's body is being kept in stasis, and then the episode ends. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to talk about an interview with Cinemovie that Eric Kripke did, where he talks briefly about where the next season is going, and he basically says that the center of the show is these planets, Butcher and Homelander, just waiting to clash into one another, and now they're finally going to let them clash and see what happens. Now, I don't think this means the Butcher is going to be the one to finish Homelander necessarily, or not by himself at least, because I feel that Eric has something different in mind. But him saying that basically confirms that Butcher's new power does put him on a level that can at least compete with Homelander. He also mentions Annie is still free, so that'll probably be relevant somewhere. I'm going to say that she'll probably be the one to help free all the other members of the boys who were captured in the finale. GenV Season 2 is also mentioned, and he says that it'll be the first look we get into the new world that they're in, being under martial law, so I'm guessing the next season will be about how the heroes of that show are dealing with those problems. Minus Chance Perdomo's character, of course. He was confirmed to not be recasted, but he will have his respects paid to him during the season. There's a few more things he mentions in the interview, so you should go check it out. It's not very long, but those were the key points. Now, let's get into some theories for Season 5 based on all the things in Season 4 and what the showrunners have said about the show this season on interviews and in his tweets. So first off, I'd put money on the new president still being assassinated by Homelander, probably at the January 6th thing with all the soups that was briefly mentioned by Firecracker. The date, I'm sure, is of course a reference, and will probably be a slight parody of certain events that took place at the Capitol building in the US in real life on January 6th a few years ago. Also, Homelander does successfully eliminate the president in the comics before he is confronted by Butcher while sitting in the Oval Office, so I'd also put money on their final meeting being set up similar to how it is in the comics, minus the Black Noir reveal, of course. I would also take a strong guess that Ryan is going to play a huge part in actually finishing off Homelander. Whether Butcher dies in this fight with Homelander and Ryan takes revenge after seeing how evil his dad is, or Ryan helps deliver the final blow while Butcher holds Homelander down with his new hentai powers. I'm sure he'll definitely be the key to the final confrontation with Homelander either way. We also saw Sam and Kate. I'm willing to bet that they'll be a bigger part of GenV Season 2, if not the villains of that season. It would be perfect to have our heroes from that show be the ones to free Frenchie and Kimiko to set up Season 5, and maybe even turn Sam to the good side, considering I'm sure he's only docile because of Kate's mind control powers. All of these are just predictions, of course, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I'm also working on another video about a leaker who worked on set for The Boys and had basically leaked the whole Season 4 as it was coming out, even leaked the new Noir's identity before the season even started, if I remember right. But they were also talking about some other on-set drama that I'm gonna go over there, so be sure to stay tuned if that kind of thing sounds interesting to you. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and sub. I'll be watching every interview and reading every bit of insider information I can to figure out what's about to happen next for the boys, and possibly some of the spin-offs coming after the show's over. Until next time, I've been the Popular Introvert.